Welcome to the Effortless Swimming podcast. My guest today is Peter Bloor, and you are a Brit located in Vietnam, and you've recently gone through our 5-day catch challenge. And in the comments, you had some pretty good results. I think it was after day 2, and I thought I'd be really good to get you on to talk about what you've changed to make such an improvement. So first of all, welcome, and can you tell everyone listening a little bit of your background on how you got into swimming and why you're swimming at the moment?
Sure, thanks, Bruno. So I moved into an apartment about 2 years ago, and it had a pool. And I've never been a strong swimmer at all. I would never swim freestyle, for example. It was always just breaststroke, paddling around. And I thought it'd be a good opportunity to really learn how to swim. My wife then started suggesting do triathlons and then going in for Ironman, because I've got a background with cycling and a bit of running. So yeah, just kind of took it from there, and I spent about 18 months training. I was doing 80-20 plan from Matt Fitzgerald. I don't know if you're familiar with his whole kind of approach.
Not too sure. What's that about?
It's just about doing 80% of your work below the lactate threshold. So most of it's quite easy, and then you 20% of the time you're above that, doing intervals and all the rest of it. So that applies in cycling, swimming, and running. So I was following his plan, basically just trying to make sure that I had the endurance to be able to do a half Ironman. So 1900 meters, it seemed to be ridiculously long at first. So I wasn't really focusing on the technique so much, just about trying to make sure I could do it. The Ironman, because of COVID, the Ironman kept getting cancelled and delayed. So I've done these ridiculous 19-week build-up plans 3 times now. The event just kept on. It's honestly so disheartening. We've just had one recently, so it was supposed to be May again. That's the 3rd. I got cancelled. It's now done for August, and I'm not really that confident it's going to happen again. But anyway, so I would watch your videos actually, and I would try and take that into the pool, but then just go through the normal plan as it was in the plan that was given. So not really doing the drills, not really kind of focusing that much on it, and that's something I kind of really learned from this catch program, is that doing the drills really makes a difference. Like having the intention to kind of do it using with your mind is all well and good, but it just doesn't give you the same kind of isolation of the different parts of the technique. So yeah, I really realized that. And then yeah, after that, about 18 months, that last Ironman got cancelled, and I thought I'd use time to try and work on the swim, because that's by far my weakest discipline of the 3. So then I saw, just coincidentally, your course come up, and kind of went for it. Also partly because I've been sort of watching your videos for free for so long, I felt a bit that you probably deserved whatever it was, the $10. And I saw someone in the comments saying that they were going to do that, repeat the days, and that kind of felt right for me. So I did each day twice. And so by the end of your day 2, which is kind of the 4th day for me, I just had been putting my times into a little spreadsheet, and it had taken 9 seconds off the 100 meters intervals from the first day. And that's, as I say, I'm not particularly fast, but that really blew my mind, because I'd spent so long not really getting any faster, and then did. So then obviously that was a couple of weeks back, and I've now finished it. By the end, I think it was 11 or 12 seconds. But a big part of that was not just the time, it was the kind of energy. So not feeling so tired afterwards, feeling more comfortable rather than doing it, kind of, muscles a bit more relaxed and less tired afterwards. I haven't really done any endurance swims since, partly because it's not that phase in the plan, and I just didn't get around to it. But I'm really interested to see what effect it will have on the kind of average speed for those longer swims. But yeah, just really impressive results, I thought.
And one of the things you mentioned in the comments was that this is like on the 2nd day, or perhaps 4 days into it if you're doubling up the days, but that you didn't feel like you were faster, but when you looked at your times, you were quicker. Can you explain? Did it feel any different, or it felt the same, but the times were just quicker?
It's kind of difficult to remember. I guess the day 2, I think, was the one where you kind of go in, you put the brakes on and then down, and that definitely, I noticed that a lot in the final drills. So you kind of catch position just being better. Feeling better. I guess not feeling so much faster, but definitely less tired. And that was throughout the intervals, I guess. So I had more gas to give in the final one than I did on the first day, and would have done in the past and so on as well. I mean, the other, just thinking about it, I haven't reached the end in day 5. The one that had the most effect on me, I think, was just the importance of slow to fast. I think that's the way you phrased it, but I think I'd pretty much been going through just as beginners do, pushing down on the water instead of waiting for the arm to drop. But my general stroke was pretty even in terms of doing the motion, and then this has completely changed the way that works. And so I found that it's probably meant I've put in less energy into the kicks. My kicks, I've got that thing of runners like heavy legs, so kicks has always been an issue. In fact, for the longest time, I was faster with a pull buoy than when I was kicking, which is pretty depressing.
Oh, you're not alone, don't worry. A lot of people are.
But yeah, like as I say, so moving from slow to fast, it's felt like it's completely changed the timing and the I don't know, the way the stroke feels. And maybe that's a spoiler for people who haven't got there yet, but yeah, that day 5 was really big for me as well.
That's good. And so for you, and what we're talking about with slow to fast is essentially a lot of people will turn their arms over at a constant speed, like they're turning the pedals on a bike. But in swimming, it should be slow to fast. So when you reach forward, you begin the catch, move through that a bit slower than you do out the back of the stroke. And for you, was it more that taking your time out the front and then accelerating through the back part that changed it, or was it just that you felt like you had a little bit more time to reach forward, so it kept your heart rate down and felt easier? Was it changing the speed in both ends of the stroke, or in just one?
More in the second half, honestly, yeah. So more just the acceleration out the back. It meant that I was able to deliberately push us fully through the back as well. And I think particularly when I was getting tired in the past, that would have been the form just falling to pieces. So probably wasn't pushing all the way out. Whereas now that's just front and center in my mind. And then definitely just the tiredness and the energy. So I don't know the numbers, but whether it feels like half as difficult, but it definitely feels easier. And they're not sprinting. So the numbers that I'm kind of going off when I'm just been doing your drills kind of thing is what I would call kind of zone 3. So a little bit above threshold. And so, yeah, faster than I would do for an Ironman, but definitely not sprinting. And it really feels a lot easier. And that was kind of that was part of what I wanted.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a good thing to hear. And I think, because I was thinking about, okay, why are people getting really good results with this catch challenge? Like, it's super simple, but I think having that pretty much one focus a day is the way to go, because if you try and do 2 or 3 things, sometimes that's just overwhelming. And so with one thing at a time, keep it really simple. For me, that feels like why we've had such good results with it. What do you think it was that helped you sort of make those changes just from someone doing the course?
I absolutely agree. Yeah, it's being able to isolate the each different part of it. Because as I say, I think I'd probably seen most of what you said in that course in your videos already. I'm pretty sure. I mean, maybe not the slow to fast thing, but I maybe haven't got through to that part of your videos yet. But it was,
you haven't watched all 400 yet.
Yeah, exactly. I've got 2 young kids, so I'll get there again. It was, yeah, the isolation and doing the drills. So I would really recommend everyone get the snorkel as well. For me, that just took the breathing out of the equation, and so it was even more so kind of just isolated on getting those kind of positions right and getting the different parts of the stroke right. Yeah, so I just the isolation, I think that's absolutely what it was for me.
Yeah, I think a snorkel is good to use because, I mean, the breathing is the thing that can bring in so many other flaws into the stroke, because you often turn too far, or you just sort of, it really takes the focus off what's happening in the water. So a snorkel makes a big difference. And when you first started swimming consistently about 18 months ago, with your technique, did you have sort of much of an idea of what it was that you should be doing? Did you get any coaching as a kid, or did you come into it with a bit of a blank slate and then you started watching some videos?
the second, it's one of those things I've noticed. So I've spent that amount of time swimming, 18 months, probably 3 times a day. Sorry, 3 times a week, I'd say at least, as part of the plan. And then guys who just learned when they were kids, and are like nailing my times on Strava, like people I know here who barely ever swim, but they just got the muscle memory and the technique from when they were a kid. And it was that I didn't have any coaching. Like I say, knew how to swim, but never did swim. And so I kind of went to YouTube. There's not really that many coaches that I know here anyway, or that I'm aware of. So yeah, I just kind of tried to do it on YouTube. And it's, as I say, I think it's what you said. I'd watch the videos during the day, maybe thinking I'd go and swim at night, but I'd have 3 things in my mind that I wanted to improve. So I'd be like, right, you need to do this, and then you want to try and work on that, and the high elbow thing, and then want that. And I think it ended up being just not really effective.
Yeah, that's it. Because often I'll have people who come along to clinics and they've watched a lot of videos and they're trying to do so many things at once. And some of it's just like they don't even need to worry about. It's like, let's say it's the train tracks, right? You're trying to stay in line with your shoulders when you enter. If someone's already doing that and they're really hyper focused on it, it's like, well, you could spend your time focusing on something else. And it's and so you want to make sure it's right for you and it's specific to you. And but I think, with the catch, if you get that right, to me, it's the 80-20 of your stroke. If you have a good catch, it makes such a difference across the board. And so I think that's why you can see such big improvements like you had, which I think was fantastic. So going forwards in terms of racing with your training, are you doing some sessions where you're going at around, like 1.5 to 2K, maybe broken up into intervals where you're looking to maintain that sort of race pace, if you do ever get to do your half Ironman?
So I'm supposed to have started the plan again for August, but like I say, the motivation is a little bit low at the moment. But so I've kind of been working through the 5-day catch thing again. I think I'll do that for this week, and then I actually joined the video membership of your kind of Effortless Swimming site, and so I'm planning to kind of use that and go through some more things. The way I'd picture doing it now is once I get into the plan again, there's my warm up should probably normally about 500 meters, 3 to 500 meters. I'll do drills from the site, or I mean some from this program, I guess, but some just from the site as well, YMCA and that kind of thing. And then go on with the normal things. And sometimes it's intervals, sometimes it'll just be a big swim in zone 2, sometimes it's mixed intervals. There's a bit of variety going through it. Real big fan of Matt Fitzgerald's thing as well, that 80-20. So it's nice to be able to kind of mix them up, I guess. Do the first part focusing on the form, and then the endurance for the second part or whatever. Yeah,
that's good. And that's why I sort of made it that way too, is because people like yourself, you've got a coach, or you've got swim programs that you're already doing. And so you can often just get those technique changes to happen as part of the warm-up. And what I'm in the middle of creating at the moment is, you might have seen me mention it, but like an 8-week course, kind of like the 5-day catch challenge, where it's going to go through the whole stroke. So we'll work on body position and kick and rotation, all those sorts of things, just in an 8-week program, but you'll just have a short warm-up that you can include as part of your session. So it'll sort of cover all those other things. And I'm sure you'll be able to find a couple seconds here and there as well. So in the next probably 2 weeks or so, it should be up in the membership, which should be good, because I've had quite a few people ask about, all right, can we do it for like body position? Can we do it for the other things as well? And and so that's what's going to be next, because often there's a lot of time to be found in those things as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I look forward to that for sure.
And thank you very much for being on the podcast, and fingers crossed that come August you can get your race on. I feel for you. I mean, I think we've got so this coming weekend there's the first Ironman to be held in Australia since last March, I think it is, and our state here in Melbourne, by the time we're recording this, our state in Victoria, so we've all been locked out of Queensland. So I've had friends that have trained for a very long time for this event and they can't go. So it's I can understand the pain in a way, but I haven't done the training for it. But it sucks. But fingers crossed, you can get it done soon.
Oh, nice one. Cheers.